Today we're diving into the story of N-acetylcysteine, or NAC. Now, you've probably never heard of it, but it's the primary antidote for one of the most common poisonings in the entire world. And the story of how it went from a simple cough remedy to an emergency room lifesaver, well, it's pretty wild. So let me ask you this. What if the cure for a potentially fatal Tylenol overdose wasn't some brand new high-tech drug, but something that was hiding in plain sight the whole time, inside a simple cough remedy? Sounds like something straight out of a medical drama, right? But nope, this is the real story. So yeah, we're talking about a real unlikely hero here. We're going to dig into how a molecule designed for one pretty mundane job, clearing out mucus, ended up becoming one of the most crucial tools in any emergency room. So what was NAC's first job? Well, when it first showed up on the scene back in the 1960s, it was just a mucolytic agent. Basically, its whole purpose was to break up thick, sticky mucus for people with conditions like bronchitis, just to help them breathe a little easier. A useful job, sure, but a million miles away from saving someone's life in an overdose situation. And then the 1970s happened. And everything changed. Researchers stumbled upon the fact that NAC could do something absolutely incredible. It could shield the liver from the devastatingly toxic effects of an acetaminophen overdose. This wasn't just some small finding. It was a total game changer for emergency medicine. And the proof came in this landmark 1977 study by Prescott and his team. They laid it all out. They showed that if you gave NAC to a patient early enough, it could basically reboot the body's natural defense system, neutralize the dangerous toxin, which is called NAPQ, and literally stop the liver from self-destructing. And just like that, NAC went from the pharmacy shelf to the ER's front lines as the official antidote. So, how does it actually work? To really get it, you gotta picture this tiny, epic battle going on inside your body. It is literally a fight for the life of your liver. Okay, so first, meet the good guy who's already on your side. Your liver has this built-in bodyguard, a molecule called glutathione. Its entire job is to seek out and neutralize toxins to keep your liver safe. It's your body's own first line of defense. Now, here's the villain. When you take way too much acetaminophen, your body starts pumping out this nasty toxin called NAPQI. Normally, your glutathione bodyguard can handle a little bit of it, no problem. But in an overdose, the system gets completely flooded, and your bodyguard is just swamped. And this is the breaking point. This tidal wave of NAPQI just completely wipes out your liver's supply of glutathione. Poof! Your bodyguard is gone. And with that shield down, the toxin is free to just go to town, destroying liver cells, which can lead to catastrophic and often fatal liver failure. But this is where our unlikely hero, NAC, swoops in. It's like calling in the cavalry. NAC gives your body the exact raw materials it needs to rapidly rebuild its army of glutathione bodyguards. The shield goes back up, the toxin gets neutralized, and the liver is saved from the brink. It's an incredibly elegant and life-saving intervention. Okay, so they found the miracle cure, but that was just step one. Now, the real work began, figuring out the absolute best way to use it. This kicked off a decades-long mission to perfect the recipe for saving a life. And you can really see that journey play out over the decades. It all started in the 70s with a 72-hour oral dose. I mean, it worked, but man, it was rough on patients. That led to the famous 21-hour IV protocol, which became the gold standard for ages. But, science doesn't just sit still. More recently, doctors have developed even simpler, faster protocols to cut down on mistakes, reduce nasty side effects, and just get patients better faster. And when you put them side by side, the improvement is just crystal clear. Look at that original protocol. Super complicated, and up to 1 in 5 patients had a bad reaction to it. The newer ones, not only are they way simpler and faster, but they slashed that reaction rate. The latest 12-hour version is the whole package. Quickest, easiest for doctors, and safest for the patient, all while being just as effective. It's a fantastic example of medical progress in action. Okay, so you're an ER doc. A patient comes in. It's a potential life or death situation. How do you decide what to do? Well, they have a playbook for that. And believe it or not, the key tool they use is a chart that's been around since 1975. It's called the Rumack Matthew nomogram. It's actually super clever. A doctor takes 2 numbers, how much acetaminophen is in the patient's blood, and how many hours have passed since they took it, and they plot it on this graph. That one little dot tells them pretty much everything they need to know about the patient's risk for severe liver damage. So the whole thing boils down to this really clear 4-step plan. Step 1, get a blood sample, stat. Step 2, use that nomogram to figure out how high the risk is. 3, if they're in the danger zone, you start that NAC drip, like right now. And 4, you just keep checking their labs until all the numbers are back in a safe range, and then you know it's okay to stop treatment. So, the antidote we have now is amazing, right? But in medicine, good enough is never really good enough. The quest for perfect is always on. So what's on the horizon? Well, there's a ton of cool stuff happening. Researchers are testing if super high doses of NAC could help in cases of really massive overdoses. They're finding new ways to identify low-risk patients who can safely stop treatment even sooner. They're even exploring these new high-tech biomarkers that could one day let them perfectly tailor the therapy for every single person. And of course, a huge piece of this is just working to get NAC to the places in the world that need it most. When you boil it all down, the goal behind all this work is pretty simple, but it's also incredibly important. Make the treatment faster, safer, and a perfect fit for every patient every time. You know, the story of NAC, this humble little cough medicine that became a frontline lifesaver, it really makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you wonder, what other everyday medicines are out there, sitting right now in our cabinets, just holding on to undiscovered secrets, waiting to change the world?